Today, South Florida Sunday welcomes Drew Hines of Vision Inc. Studios, perhaps one of the busiest communicators in the business. Vision Inc. Studios provides services in photography, graphic design, marketing, and new business development. Drew Hines is also a motivational speaker and author who has written 4 books, including the 2-book series titled Don't Spoil Your Appetite: Recipes for Life, Love, and Happiness. Listen to that, ladies. Indeed, all of his books have to do with relationships and making the right choices as we seek those relationships. One book is titled A Good Man for Sale, with the tagline, and I love this, by his fruits you will know him. I, for one, can't wait to talk about that book. But all of his books are for sale on Amazon.com, and you can also visit his website, www.visioninc.studios.com, to see what he's up to. So clearly, Drew Hines is a busy man, but that's not all he's up to. He is also in the process of developing 3 separate internet TV shows, including Behind the Fabric, about the national fashion industry, one called Real Sweat, which will be about athleticism and working out, which if you see Drew Hines, you can tell he does do just that. And lastly, Let's Talk Chivalry. That show is about, and I quote from his website, unveiling the many misconceptions that men and women have when they are seeking a monogamous relationship in which to procreate. Okay? So, lots here to talk about with Mr. Drew Hines of Vision Inc. Studios, and we welcome him to South Florida Sunday. Welcome, Drew Hines.
Hey.
Hey, I wish the mayor was here to ask you about that last book.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know where we should start. I mean, fashion, there's working out, there's learning how to love right. Give us a sense of what's the thread that kind of runs between all of this activity?
Well, I'm all about empowerment. Some people call me a self-help author. I just want to empower people. Whether it's about everything is relationships. When you think about it, you may have good and bad relationships, and relationships are investments. So you have good investments, bad investments. So I'm just trying to help people to make a good, sound investment as far as relationships.
And then, and I guess you might also be talking by extension relationships, throughout life. I mean, relationships at work, perhaps relationships,
exactly.
With your children.
Exactly.
Once you learn how to get along with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, then maybe you can get along with everybody else.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So how did all this start? I mean, was it almost sounds like it was a bad relationship with a really fit fashion model.
Wow. That's a whole nother story.
Well, we got time. We got time here at
wow.
South Florida Sunday. But take us back to the beginning. How did all this get started?
Well, let's see now. The whole thing with relationships.
I almost wish I had a tambourine. Go ahead.
Well, I grew up in church, so even a lot of stuff that I write, for the cardinal sense, we know it as self-help. Those who go to church, whatnot, are spiritual. They know my books, more of a singles ministry, family life ministry, women's ministry books.
Very positive.
So, yeah, it's all positive. It's funny. When I even think about my whole thing, I'm a very passionate person. So anything I do, I'm passionate. Whether it's music, whether I'm playing the piano, or singing, or writing, or whatever it is, I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. But I idolize Gordon Parks. If you look at the history books, you see he's done a lot of things as a brother of color.
Tell us who Gordon Parks is. Now, for some people who may not know, I mean, I know he was a longtime photographer that started out at Life magazine. It was like the only black photographer there,
but he was a photographer.
It sounds like it was more than that.
He was a photographer. He was a filmmaker. He also scored music. He was phenomenal. And everything he did well. I'm not sure if I can fill his shoes.
I don't know. You're doing a pretty good job from what I can tell.
Why? Because I got big feet. No, but
well, according to Marco Rubio and them, that's always a good thing.
Hallelujah.
Well. Okay, don't go there.
We're gonna pray about that.
Anyway.
Yeah, but
Yes.
so I really love to just empower people. Right now, like I said, I have Let's Talk Chivalry, which is a spinoff from my books, and my books are really a spinoff of remember Chicken Noodle Soup, and I had the whole series, Volume 1 and Volume 2. But I just talk about relationships and trying to empower people to make better choices in relationships, because a lot of times we just we make bad choices, and try to see if we can help them out by giving some form of guidelines, with that. So we have Let's Talk Chivalry, which is a talk show that's going to be coming out soon. We have Behind the Fabric, where we actually go behind the scenes and go to different meet up with different fashion designers locally and nationally. Also with models. So currently, I'm looking for a host for that show. And
but don't go to those digital things yet. I still want to talk about these books, okay? I still want to talk about
stay as an author.
Unveiling the many misconceptions that men and women have when they are seeking a monogamous relationship.
You want me to go in, don't you?
In which to procreate. But I do want to talk about your books. I want to talk about, like, how did you choose to write about relationships? Did you have like a really, is it something that you were experiencing, or things that you saw other people experiencing, or?
It's a combination. I mean, we've all have had an opportunity to be in relationships, good or bad. Also, friends and family have gone through stuff as well. And you sit down and you talk. And a lot of my books have come from just general conversation. Even the new book, Good Man for Sale. See, what had happened was, I was talking to a friend of mine, a young lady, and she was like, I can't find no good man. I was like, oh, the typical conversation. And
I've had
a couple of months later, she was like, oh, hallelujah, praise God, I found a good man. She was so happy. And then a couple months after that, she's like, I can't stand him. And I was like, okay, hold on, okay, you lost me.
Okay,
now, this is the same guy that you met that, paid all your bills. I mean, take care of your kids, it's not his, help you balance your checkbook, help you get a new car, help you finance the new crib that you're staying in. What's wrong? And she's like, oh, when he come over, he leave the lights on, he leave the toilet seat up. I'm like, see, you know what's happening? You're going to mess around and have a good man for sale. And I'm like, oh, man, good man for sale. And I wrote it basically.
But what did you mean when you said that to her?
Well, what I was saying basically this, all of us have had an opportunity to find a good person or a decent person. But the thing is, I think we don't know how to qualify a good person. So what happened is we overlook them and put them in a friendship box. And we move on, and then we find someone who looks good, who has good credit scores and all these tangible stuff. And then they find out that it just fizz out, and it's just a waste of time. It's a bad investment. So we're trying to help people to qualify. It's not that you can't find a good man. It's that you don't know what a good man is.
Right.
Well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here like, okay. Yeah.
Woo!
So are there sort of some guidelines in the book to sort of help, women?
See, you want me to? Y'all ain't read the book if I tell you everything. Okay, I'll break it down real quick.
Some of the listeners know that Marion is manless right now. But
we're gonna pray.
But in seriousness though, I mean, are there guidelines in there that you?
I'm gonna break it down. Y'all still better get the book though.
Right, and we're not going to talk about the book for long. The book's for long. But.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's think about it. We talk about a man. When you meet a guy, you have to first know what stage he's in, what phase he's in. And I talk about that in Let's Talk Chivalry, one of the shows. The phases. With a man, I break it down in 60-40. When you meet a man, you have to find out, is he at his 60%? Is he at the where he wants to have a monogamous relationship, settle down, have one person, a monogamous relationship,
yeah.
And once he has that mindset, that's the 60%. So he's at his 60%. Then the other 40% is him finding the right woman that completes him. Okay, so when you find a person, you first find out, is he at his 60? Then you got to decipher, am I the 40 he needs? Now, that 60% is also breaking down in security. Now, for a man, it's financial security. For a woman, it's more emotional security. So when you break it down like that, now, if a man can't, dare I say, PP, which is an acronym I just made up just now when I walked in the door, which stands for provide and protect, then he feels demasculated. He feels like he's not good enough. So what he does is he put that woman in that friendship box so he can keep an eye on him. See, I've been keeping Miss Dozian in a friendship box for a while, so I keep an eye on her. Now he
Oh my
goes
God,
out
if I
there.
were white, I would be
Of
red.
course. Forgive me, church, for me keep it real right here. But see, for a brother now, even though he puts in a friendship box, he still has needs. So he may be out there sticking and moving, whatnot. But as he move along, he still keep an eye on his friend. But he gets himself in a situation. Now he's sticking and moving with girls who may not have the same standards that he would have as wifey, Miss Doja, of course. And so because what
Careful
happens
now.
is he mess around and he has these baby mothers out there and whatnot, and he gets tied up. So then by the time he gets his financial situation together, he comes back to Miss Doja, Miss Wifey, and she's gone. She moves on. You know what I'm saying? She's no longer in that friendship box. She's moving on in life. And that's what kind of happens with everybody. So a lot of times men need to know what phase they are, and women, when they're allowing a guy to come in their life, they need to know what phase they're in as well.
And so are you writing from the perspective of, say, a therapist per se, or dare I say, as a hurt man, or, who's sort of trying to educate women because of your own experiences, or so, what is it?
Hold
Or
up,
is it-
man. Do I look hurt and broken? No, but no. To answer your question, it's more. I'm kind of like a life coach. I'm like a big brother. I give advice. I've been there, done there, a couple different times. I got some mileage on me, so I kind of learn a lot of these things, and I just pass them on. And for me, writing, what I've learned is when I talk to people. It's a different sense when you talk to someone and when you write it down. When a person reads your words, it actually becomes a part of that person in their subconscious, just the whole nine. So I think I reach people and it has a more lasting effect
Yeah.
when I write the words. But now we a lot of people is writing me back. They're like, hey man, a lot of us don't read that much. You know what I'm saying? Can you put in an audio book, or can you make
I
a
was
show
gonna
or
ask you
something?
that,
So
yeah.
that's why now the show has started coming up. Let's Talk Chivalry is to where we can have them call in. We can go out in the streets. We'll have it to where we actually go in the streets and interview the people, bring it to them, and have it more visual, so I can reach a larger audience. And not just those who are literate.
So you are that show, Let's Talk Chivalry, that is not yet up. I guess you've done.
we're still recording it. All of the shows are going to be based on recording on like a seasonal thing. 12 shows make a season kind of thing, and then we'll have them available different places. And
Are you gonna do them live, or
we're gonna mix it up. Some live, some pre-recorded, some on
And I guess some
location,
on site, yeah,
some
okay,
on location, and different things like that. We just want to make it fun and anything to cater to the masses.
And it sounds like you're almost catering to women, mostly.
Well, I'm
Is
a
that-
brother. I got to cater to the women there, you know what I'm saying? I'm
It's
just
horrible.
saying. And what we always say on the show, chivalry is not dead, ladies, okay? I'm here for you, okay? Anything you need, I'm here for you.
Yeah, because I thought that was interesting too, that you called it Let's Talk Chivalry as opposed to Let's Talk Love or Let's Talk Relationships. Or why did you choose chivalry?
See, she a journalist. Y'all notice
Oh.
that? She going to make me answer all.
And this.
Well, let's go back to his story of chivalry.
Yeah.
With chivalry, we think back in the Renaissance time frame when we had kings and queens and Sir Lancelot and all these guys. These guys were gentlemen. In this day and age, we don't really hear of a guy being a gentleman, and I think we need to bring that back. So when I say let's talk chivalry, I'm really saying that, guys, we got to go back to treating women like ladies and vice versa. So. Yeah.
And I'm glad you made that point, because that reminds me of something my sister and I say to each other all the time. We listen to, rhythm and blues music from like the 70s, and the way the men loved us back then, or the way they sang about us, oh my God. My sister says all the time, men don't love us like that anymore. They're not chivalrous anymore. And, you almost want to blame the media. You want to blame, rap music, videos, the stupid video games. But I don't know if that's what's really behind it. I don't know if it's partly our fault, the women too, or...
I think it comes from a lot of different aspects. You have media who plays into different things and drives a lot of people who are may not be strong-minded, and so they kind of just sway with whatever fad is out there. But also goes back to the home. If you think about it, they don't make parents like they used to. So you remember you had to come to the house and meet the parents and get permission from the parents to even look at the young lady. Nowadays, kids are raising themselves. So,
and I can remember my mama saying, "Where you think you going? Them shorts on with your blacks or your behind showing?" But now you see these girls are out there and
Yeah.
You know, everything is, you know, everything is out there, and the men's on the women. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got to get back to, you know, get away from the whole quantity versus quality thing. You know, we have a lot of quantity of people, but not really quality. So we got to go back to having some substance, and that's what I'm trying to bring to the table. I know a lot of women say, you know, why I can't find a good man? Well, I mean, you can't ask for what you aren't yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to have, you know, something that you know, some form of integrity, morality, where a decent guy would say, okay, I'm proud to say this is my woman. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women you ain't bringing home. You just keep them out in the streets. You know, so.
So now with your internet TV shows, how did you decide that you wanted to do a show on fashion? What was that about? Does that go back to that fashion
honestly, model
who broke your heart way back when that we have not heard about yet?
Oh Lord, I was gonna say something. I'm gonna keep it to myself. Nah, the whole fashion, and it's funny because a friend of mine, he started doing this whole fashion week, West Palm, and he was like, "Hey man, you know I'm doing this thing," so he invited me to come, and when I went along, I started this whole new world. You know, fashion is like a whole world in itself, and when I got it and hanged out with the models and the fashion designers, I saw that, you know, it's very interesting. And I think it's something that a lot of people don't see and really don't know about. You see, you know, big names, or you may see models, but you don't really know how much hard work goes behind the scenes.
No, because it doesn't seem interesting to me.
It's really cool, but I mean, it could be stressful. I see how they get ready for the shows, and I see them, you know, dealing with clients and making things a certain way and changing them, and you know, measurements, and it's so calculated, and so much business incorporated. I mean, with me, I always say my cliche is, you know, 80% business, 20% creativity, and even when I look at them, you know. It's so intricate at how they do it. I mean, yes, you got to be a talented person to come up with the designs and create things from nothing, but also you have to be a business person of how you go about that. So I thought it was kind of interesting. So I started to film, followed some different fashion designers, almost like a reality show.
Yeah, and there's quite a few around here locally. I've learned since I've been doing this show, and we'll have some on here. And then what about the athletic show? What's that about? I mean, I know you're very fit. Is that you just wanted to take your experience from the gym and share it with other people, or?
Well, I kind of fell off from my military days, my heydays, but with the whole fit thing, we think about relationship. Now, you want to have healthy mind, healthy body. So if you got yourself together where you got your mind right, and you're staying healthy, because it doesn't make sense. You know, I'm in a mindset where I want to find someone in my life, but yet, you know, I'm not taking care of myself physically. You know, and then I ain't gonna be around much longer to really enjoy the relationship because I'm always sick. So, you know, we have to, especially when we get older. You know, as we get older, we gotta stay in shape. We gotta get it together. You know, we don't want to be suffering from these ailments due to just not taking care of stuff, not eating right. So, you know, I kind of went back to my military days and started working out. And in that, I came across a lot of old friends, and you know, I shared the idea, like, you know, hey, we need to do something like that. And
so are y'all going to be talking about exercise? Or it's going to be like,
honestly,
exercise classes?
Real Sweat is my baby, because Real Sweat, what's really cool.
That's the name of the show.
Real Sweat. How we're going to be doing is basically we're going out to different places, speaking to athletes, new athletes coming up, old athletes who are retired, and we'll be interviewing a lot of them nationwide.
About like their exercise regimen and stuff like that.
Exactly. And also
so still a talk show.
And also going behind the scenes, you know, meeting their family, how they train, what inspired them, what made them passionate about being athletes. Also, we'll be doing different things. We'll actually do exercise. So we'll show them different exercises. We have a Dr. Porter, Nakia Porter, who's on the show, and she basically works with rehabilitation. When you get hurt as an athlete, she's the one to help you get
like
that.
a physical therapist.
Exactly. That's exactly what she does. So she'll be on the show. She's one of the hosts, and she's kind of like that CrossFit queen. So she.
Yes, honey, y'all should see her. Her abs are so flat.
Yeah, she's like, wow.
She looks like she's 16.
So, and then you have Mr. Cornell Ricketts, who's a 13-year veteran from the Air Force. He's come back, and now he's competing as a professional bodybuilder. In fact, he has a show. I mean, in September, he's going to be competing for his pro card. So we'll be following him in that. And just this Sunday, we started shooting the workout video in Ocala, over at CrossFit Ocala, and we've been videotaping that. So it's really fun. We'll be doing a lot of traveling, not only just showing you athletes, but also showing you what you have to do to prepare to become an athlete.
Right. Or to look like an athlete.
Or at least fake it till you make it.
A plus. Yeah, exactly. All right, so then we have the third show, which is the Let's Talk Chivalry, and we talked about that a little bit already. So you're looking for some hosts for these shows.
Well, yeah, I need. The last host I had for Behind the Fabric, she was wonderful, but she recorded.
Because I mean, these shows aren't up and running yet. You're still trying to sort of
still in production.
In production,
now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of need a consistent host with Behind the Fabric. You know, we've seen a lot of people, but we still haven't really got that.
Right. So you're looking for somebody like for the fashion shows, people who are knowledgeable or involved perhaps in fashion. Same thing for the athlete show, and then the chivalry show. That's
now, Real Sweat. We already have our team of Cornell Ricketts and Nakia Dr. Porter, so that's up and running. But for the Let's Talk Chivalry, and also for the Behind the Fabric, those two, we kind of want to have more than one host to kind of filter out there, because when we travel as well, certain hosts may not be available, so we want to have hosts on hand. So
if you go to his website, www.visioninc.studios.com, you will see, I think he's got some descriptions on there of the kind of people that he's looking for each one of those
when you spell
three
it
shows.
Make sure they spell it right. VISION Inc. INK STUDIOS.com.
Very good. Okay. So, as you've been doing all this stuff, what have you learned about yourself?
I'm out of shape. I'm out of
Ladies,
shape with everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's something different. You're just not talking about physically.
Stop trying to pull it out of me.
I'm just saying, okay? Like black people do. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I'm still getting it together.
Yeah.
I see that I need to get in shape in a lot of different things, and
But I'm sure it's been really sort of therapeutic for you. All of these things.
It has been. It's
you have to kind of look at yourself when you start.
Self-reflection, definitely, and that's what I like about it, because whether I'm writing or whether I'm doing these shows, it forces me to really answer a lot of questions about myself and see a lot of different things. So yeah, definitely self-reflection.
Okay, and then you've got a little son. I think he is 6 years old. At his little cute self. Has becoming a father changed your perspective at all?
Yeah, you're going to be a little bit more responsible, because you have somebody watching you. So of course you want to step it up. I may say. Step it up.
And Drew Hines involves his little son in just about everything. You'll see the little fella all over the website with his little cute self. So we know that. I know that you're a very active father. So
yeah, it was funny. He knocked over the cameras when we was recording. Recording the workout video, and everybody's like, "He's so cute." I'm like, oh man.
So, what do you most enjoy with all the stuff that you do?
I love the feedback. I love when someone comes back to me like, I watch your show, or I read one of your books or anything, and it really helped me and make a difference in my life. That's the only reason why I do this, just to empower people. So when I can get the feedback that at least one person really appreciate what I did, and it has helped change their life for the betterment. That's all I need. That's all I need.
And then, and what role has faith played in all of this? Because I know you're a really spiritual guy. Has that been a big component?
Even when you're broke, keep going. Hallelujah. Praise God. All my life I had to fight. Oh Lord, y'all better watch the show. I'm off the chain here. I'm trying to behave. I'm really trying to behave.
And trust me when I tell you, okay, he is trying to behave. But he's had a lot to share, and that's one of the things that's so interesting about him.
I'm indulging talking about my music. We got some music.
I don't know.
Out.
We're down to our last minute. What music? I didn't know about the music.
Y'all better go on to VisionIncStudios.com.
Because you mentioned earlier that you play the piano. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that you
I was
the
a
piano.
songwriter before all this stuff came up. I was a songwriter, and then ghostwriting for people. But
really?
Yeah, we got some music coming out later on. Maybe if not this year, next year. So
you're beginning to remind me of Martin Luther King. Like remember when it almost seems like he had he was just churning, just got so much going on because he knew he didn't have much much time. I'm not trying to imply I don't want to be morbid, but it's almost the same kind of thing. You just have all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
What is that about? You just busy, busy, busy.
You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Idle hands are the devil's work, girl. I gotta, I gotta keep busy.
Yeah.
God keep blessing me.
All right. So thank you, Drew Hines of Vision Inc. Studios, for visiting with us on South Florida Sunday today. Tell us again how we can get in touch with you, telephone number, website, Twitter account.
The best way to get in contact with me is the website, VISIONINKSTUDIOS.com. That's the best way. And all my phone numbers, everything is on there. Instagram and tell you everything on there. So just come check me out.
Right, especially if you're interested in trying out to be his a host on one of his internet TV shows. So thank you for coming. I just love talking to you all the time. He is just so full of ideas, ladies and gentlemen. It's just funny. But y'all should, if you've got a business that you want to get some help promoting, he can help you with that. He's a photographer. He's a graphic designer. He's a writer. And trust me when I tell you, as a writer, there are few and far between now that are